Horses are only for the rich, or are they? It's easy to see luxury barns, high-dollar horses, and designer tack and think, man, I'm just never gonna be able to afford this. But what if I could tell you that horses can be way more affordable than you think? Today, I'm gonna break down some ways to get you involved in horses without breaking the bank. By the end of this video, you'll have real practical ways to get involved with horses regardless of your budget. Let's start with what's one of the biggest misconceptions of all. You have to be rich to be an equestrian. From the outside looking in, it's easy to understand why someone might come to this assumption. When scrolling through social media, watching videos online, the internet is saturated. We see it all the time. These individuals are often riding high-dollar horses, competing at big shows, and sometimes even wearing clothes that can cost just as much or more than a mortgage. But this is not the norm. Horses will cost money a majority of the time, depending on what your long-term goals are. But so do most hobbies. The key is knowing where it's essential to spend money and where you might be able to save some of that cash. I didn't grow up with an unlimited amount of funds to get involved with horses. Even today, I'll tell you, there are limits on what I can and can't do, and that's the truth for every equestrian out there. The number one way I recommend people getting started with horses is through lessons. Lessons are one of the most affordable ways to get involved with horses. Where I am here in North Texas, I've seen lessons range between $30 and $80 for your average horse trainer. So with these numbers in mind, getting into lessons, say you want to go once a week, that'll run you $120 to $300 a month. If this number scares you, don't worry. I have other ways that you can get involved with horses that don't cost as much money. And there is hope if you want to have horses in your life, but don't have the extra cash to spend on them. But say you can afford lessons, but maybe you can't always afford the full cost. Speak with your barn owner or your regular trainer. Oftentimes, barns have different programs where you can help work off part of your lesson. And while you're working in the barn, either cleaning stalls or grooming horses, you're learning valuable skills that will help you throughout your equestrian career. Instead of saying, hey, I want a horse, and jumping into it blindly, lessons are a great way for you to learn some fundamental knowledge, get your feet in the water, and start learning more about horses without taking a huge financial leap. Now look, I know there's a few of you out there saying, Sarah, $300? That's insane. There's no way I can spend that much money on a horse. And I completely understand. I've been there. This may come as a shock to some people, but there are ways you can get involved with horses without having to spend a single dime. The best way you can get involved with horses for absolutely free is through volunteering. Many horse rescues and therapeutic riding programs rely on good volunteers to run their organizations. In exchange for your time volunteering, you'll gain valuable hands-on experience with a variety of horses. You'll be able to start honing in on your skills, enjoy quality time with horses, and help a wonderful cause. These programs also help you build connections in the equestrian community that might open more doors for you in the future. Some of these programs even offer riding for some of their most dedicated volunteers. When I worked in a rescue, these volunteers were so helpful. So just know, if you have the time and capability to go volunteer at these facilities, you will be welcome and appreciated. I won't lie, this is a die-hard way to get involved with horses. You're gonna have to put in some work. One of the most common tasks that volunteers end up having to do is scoop manure. Most of these organizations, they're aware that you're not there because you want to scoop poop. You're there because you want to be with horses, and they get that. So they'll make sure to provide you with quality time to get your horsey fix. So say you're in a point of your life where you've been taking lessons or volunteering, you have finances saved up, and you're thinking, I'm ready to buy a horse. But you go online, whether it's social media or horse sale websites, and you're just overwhelmed by the amount of horses that have really big price tags. You're staring at these numbers, and while you've already looked at your budget and you know you can afford the care of a horse, you're wondering, is it really essential to spend that much money on the purchase price? Talk to a horse trainer in your area or even the director at your volunteer organization. These people are going to be more than happy to help you find the right horse in your budget. Horses are available at any price point, no matter what you're looking to do, but you have to be patient and willing to look for them. Say you're not looking to do some huge goals, or maybe you are, and you want to find a horse at a lower price point. You want the horse to come from a reliable source and already be pre-vetted. The number one place I recommend to start looking for affordable horses is through reputable horse rescues. But say you're saying, Sarah, how do I know if a rescue is reputable? That's something I can make a whole video on in and of itself. But where I recommend for you to start looking is go online and type in myrightsthorse.org. The Right Horse Initiative through the ASPCA is a group of rescue organizations who have partnered together to help find the right horse for each individual. They know that your right horse is out there, and they're willing to put in the time and effort to help you find them. These organizations often have a wait list of people looking for certain horses, and they'll pre-fill out an adoption application. That way they can keep an eye out for a horse that specifically matches your needs. It's probably one of the most effective ways to get an army of people out there looking for your ideal horse. These organizations have hundreds of horses looking for the right person, and they'll be thrilled to have ideal adopters ready to take them home. Now, you have a horse at home and it's time for all the recurring expenses like vet care, farrier work, and feeding. While vet care and farrier work are 100% essential, there are ways you can help reduce your feeding costs without sacrificing the quality of the feed you're giving your horses. One of my absolute favorite ways to save money with horses is going directly to the hay farmer. And while not every farmer will be willing to sell small amounts of hay to a bunch of different individuals, partner up with other equestrians that you know. Farmers are often willing to cut a good deal to individuals who buy hay in bulk. So if you have a way to store this hay, I highly recommend purchasing in bulk, especially before winter when the prices go up. If you're not keeping horses at your own facility, another option that can sometimes save you money is pasture boarding. Just like every aspect of life, we know mistakes happen. But one way you can save money with horses is learning from other people's mistakes and doing preventative work to avoid problems later. A big way you can save money long term is by pre-vetting a horse before you purchase it. Yes, this might sound a little counterintuitive. Sarah, you really expect me to spend money on a horse that I don't even know if I'm gonna buy or not? And my answer is, I definitely recommend it. Knowing a horse's medical history can be absolutely key when it comes to budgeting for your horse long term. A pre-purchase exam can help you make a more well-informed decision on whether a horse is right for you based on the medical care they'll need long term. Certain horses are going to require more maintenance than others depending on their health. And while managing these conditions doesn't have to mean that the horse isn't the right one for you, it'll help you make an informed decision on if this is a horse you can afford to provide the proper care for long term, rather than having a horse who you can't afford to provide proper care to and then being heartbroken later when you have to part ways with a horse that you love. Another huge mistake I see individuals making, and I am guilty of this one as well, is falling for supplement trends. Because sometimes these high-dollar supplements have the same active ingredients as other supplements that you could buy for a more affordable price. So talk with your vet and make sure that these supplements are absolutely essential, and then do your research to find the best deals to provide the care that your horse needs. Overbuying supplements that your horse doesn't need can cost you hundreds of dollars a month if you're not careful. So taking the time to do your research and find out if this is something your horse truly needs is essential when budgeting. So talk with your vet. In my experience, they're more than willing to sit down and have a conversation with you to make sure your horse is getting the best care possible. This next point might ruffle some feathers. Just because it's more expensive doesn't mean it's better. And this can be applied to all things. Take saddles, for instance. Buying an older saddle is often significantly cheaper than buying a new saddle. And if you can find an older saddle that fits your horse's back, you're actually a lot better off than if you had purchased a new saddle that doesn't fit your horse. And yes, sometimes these more expensive saddles do provide things that are nice to have when working with your horse. But having an old saddle is not going to limit you in your equestrian career, and it can save you a good amount of money if you're trying to get started and don't have a huge amount of funds to start with. While it's definitely not a prerequisite to be an equestrian, many equestrians tend to hoard tack like it's never going to be made again. And this oftentimes leads to us needing to offload tack that we're no longer using. And that's why it's super easy to find quality used tack at affordable prices. You do not have to go to a store and buy new to have quality items to use with your horse. So for our final takeaway, are horses only for the rich? Absolutely not. Horses are for everyone. You just might have to get creative with how to involve them in your lifestyle depending on what your budget is. Through volunteering, lessons, and responsible financial decisions, you can have horses in your life no matter your budget. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more equestrian content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!